let's take a look at this little thing here. So this is a Kern Swiss beam compass. See on the case there, you got the logo, Kern. It has the city region, I don't know how that's pronounced, Aarau, and you have that cute little mushroom right there. You see that in some of the older sets. Looks like leather over wood. Okay, you got this little latch pin here that slides out, and that opens up the lid there. You got this nice blue velvet stuff in here, and the beam compass inside. So on the beam compass itself, you see you got it engraved there, Kern Swiss, and on the back you have the Heart Chrome Switzerland. So on some of the other sets I've seen this designation. I think it's similar to the Wildheerbrug sets, which also were made in Switzerland, where they basically, instead of just being chrome plated, whether it's over brass or nickel silver or steel or whatever, basically it's an alloy where the chrome is infused as part of the alloy into the metal. So this definitely doesn't look like old nickel silver. It almost looks stainless steel, which would kind of match up with that. Anyways, very handsome, nice and shiny and all. So some people refer to these as trammel points, which is not necessarily illegitimate. In this case, you've got this guy, which this leg here is fixed onto here. There's no removing that. You do have a removable needle right there that can be replaced or removed. And then on this one, you have as well this piece that comes out, the removable lead holder. And then you have this carriage here that can travel back and forth like that, and you can make your micro adjustments like that. Some of the other designs I reviewed, a Deedskin one that's like this, simply have a hinge right here, and this leg simply moves to give you your micro adjustment. But again, this is, I think, is a superior design because this whole carriage, this thing stays perpendicular to the beam there and just slides along back and forth like that, which is probably a little bit better than having the thing kind of swivel like that. So that's how that works. And these also just very basically, there's a screw here. You can see that head's got some wobble to it because it's a little bit bent, but it still works just fine. So these just have a plate here, and you can sandwich this onto anything that fits in there. It can't be too thin, obviously can't be too thick. I have this average old ruler right here. We'll use this as an example. So that just slides in there, and this will clamp down onto that. I tried earlier with a different ruler that was thinner than this and actually would not clamp because it was too thin to clamp onto it. So I grabbed this one so we won't have that same problem. So in practice, you would have one of these more or less fixed, and then adjust close to where you want to get for whatever you're doing, whether you're doing a circle or matching up with tangents or dividing a circle. And then you'd use this piece here for, as I said earlier, your micro adjustment that goes back and forth. So again, as long as what you're using isn't, I mean, this has some flex to it, but it's not super flimsy. So as long as what you're using isn't too flimsy, this will work just fine, you know, as a beam compass. And kind of the beauty of this style of beam compass is you're not limited to the bars that come with it. This can go as close as them touching, which would be a little bit impractical, or they can go out like this, which is very practical, or they can go onto a, you know, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, whatever you want, 10 foot beam. At that point, obviously you want something a little thicker than this to be more stable. So there you have it. There's the Kern Swiss beam compass. It's very handsome. It's in good shape. I like this design here. For the micro adjust, you can really just make really fine adjustments there. And an excellent tool to have on hand, especially if you're doing larger, you can see here I'm almost close to this radius, especially if you're doing larger constructions or compositions, whatever you're doing, this will get you to the size you need to get to. Let's see what this has in the case as well. This also has an additional point that can go in there with the shouldered needle, which is very nice. So if you want to use this as a divider, you can have a needle on each one and use that as a divider, which I have used the beam compass as a divider for. Once you get to a certain size, your little 6-inch divider is not going to work anymore. You need something, you know, a lot bigger. And then of course you have the standard rolling pin attachment. If you want to do some inking with this, you can do that as well. All in all, a very fine set. This one's definitely a keeper.